York's immense Catholic community led by Bishop Malone, joining faithful from around the world in welcoming the new Pope this morning. Brittany Smallwood is here to continue our coverage. Britt?
Jordan, many people are excited to have the first Jesuit Pope and the first Pope from the Americas.
My brothers.
My reaction was, first of all, surprise, because Pope Francis was not clearly on the short list of the people everybody was talking about, but also tremendous joy. I find this a very refreshing appointment.
Catholics around the world and right here in Western New York responded to the choice of a new Pope and the choice of a Jesuit as Pope.
They are very humble priests. They have great sermons. They're just down-to-earth people.
I do not know too much about Pope Francis's Jesuit background, but I would assume that he is a man of the people, a man who is very interested in the poor. Even taking the name Francis would seem to indicate to me that he's interested in people who are at the margin of society and who need assistance in improving their lives.
Pope Francis chose his name in honor of St. Francis of Assisi. Catholic scholars say the name Francis symbolizes poverty, humility, simplicity, and rebuilding. It's a choice that hasn't been made by any pope before.
Throughout the history of Franciscanism, we have tried to follow in those footsteps. How very significant and important that a pope would now take that name and to be a first, first as a Francis, first as someone outside of Europe, first Jesuit. It's just awesome.
I really think that in his taking the name Francis, he is pledging himself, this is just my take on it, to really kind of a deep and radical approach to leading the church in a much more faithful way to follow the example of Jesus Christ. I think that's what's coming.
Overall, local clergy say they're happy to work with the Holy Father, and some neighbors say they hope his appointment attracts lots of people who haven't been to church. Reporting live, Brittany Smallwood, News 4 Wake Up.
Thanks, Brittany. Well, this morning we have the pleasure of sitting down with Father Paul Seil of the St. Bernadette Parish in Orchard Park. Thank you so much for being here, especially so early in the morning. This is a very exciting time for Catholics.
It's a terrific time for Catholics. It's a terrific time, really, for the world to see a new religious leader, spiritual leader come forward, especially from Latin America.
You know, when we spoke with people as we were leading into the conclave, what would you like to see from the new Pope? There were several people who spoke to us and said they'd like to see some change. I know this is still early, but do you think we will see some change, or what do you think we should see?
Well, many times the change is actually in the way the message is presented. The orthodoxy, I believe, will stay the same. The doctrines will stay the same. But how that's communicated and with what gentleness it's communicated. One of the things that's very impressive, I think, about Pope Francis is that he, I like saying that, Pope Francis. Yeah, it's kind of cool. But Pope Francis is that he, in his own diocese, archdiocese, he started a ministry to divorced Catholics. Now, that's something we need to really jump upon and kind of, I think if we can reach out to people who sometimes feel alienated from the church, and that's a big task.
Yeah, that is interesting. And speaking of alienation, a lot of folks talking about the fact that he's not a Vatican insider. Do you think that will play a role?
I think we'll see, and it's going to be if I was a Vatican insider today, and if I had a job at the Vatican, I'd be thinking, what's he going to do?
Right.
Because it's kind of a whole new, maybe an opening of the windows again, and nothing wrong against Pope Benedict, but it's the style is so different, and you see that right away, and the enthusiasm and the humility that he has is just remarkable, I think, and it's got to be something that has a difference, not just for these exciting days. And he'll be installed formally on Tuesday, which is the Feast of St. Joseph, which is the patron saint of the Diocese of Buffalo, by the way.
Great, yeah.
But it will be having all those St. Joseph's tables all over the place, including at our place in Orchard Park, if I could mention, St. Bernadette's. But it's got to have an impact beyond just these days. And I think it will. I really do.
Very good. Well, we appreciate you coming in this morning. We appreciate your insight. Thank you so much, Father Seil.
Thank you,
We're going to
Diana.
send it now back over to you.
All right, Andy.